This is the 11th hour. With news and commentary for King James Bible believers, here's Greg Miller.
I have enjoyed watching the various Tea Party groups drive liberals crazy over the past couple of years, and I defended the Tea Party in personal conversation as folks have tried to label them as racists and such. In the past 2 years, we've been very pleased with the positive effects that the grassroots activities of Tea Parties all over America have had on this nation, basically stemming the tide of our evil president and both of our corrupt political parties. Notice I said both of our corrupt political parties. But a godless neoconservatism is not any better for America than rank liberalism. Let me repeat that. A godless neoconservatism is not any better for America than rank liberalism. And that is exactly what Ohio's Tea Party is becoming. If the so-called We the People Convention being held this July 4th weekend in Columbus, Ohio, is representative of the overall Tea Party movement here in the Buckeye State. For starters, Herman Cain is the keynote speaker of this Tea Party convention. And let's be honest, Cain is a wealthy black man who preaches a fiscally conservative message, and that's a powerful weapon for fiscal conservatives, of which I consider myself. But the foundation of Herman Cain's 2012 campaign message, when you get to the bottom of his rambling and sometimes incoherent diatribes, is the corrupt, unconstitutional Federal Reserve System. Why would that surprise anyone when Herman Cain is the former chairman of the board of directors of the Kansas City Federal Reserve Bank? And how can anyone calling themselves a Tea Party push the Federal Reserve agenda of Herman Cain and the banksters? Among the topics listed for this We the People convention are global warming, illegal immigration, and the Federal Reserve. And what do they want to do with the Federal Reserve? Nothing. These neocons live under a delusion thinking they can reform the devil. We agree with the title of a book put out by Ron Paul, End the Fed. The Federal Reserve is a treasonous, unconstitutional scam. The founders were opposed to a central bank, which is what the Federal Reserve is, but they were absolutely opposed to a private banking cartel controlling the American economy and controlling our government by proxy. And that is exactly what the Federal Reserve is, a private banking cartel which truly runs our government. Obama, Cain, Romney, you pretty much name anyone running at this point except Ron Paul. The rest are in bed with the Federal Reserve. Also, if you have time, you can watch, I believe it's still online, William Still's documentary. That's William Still, and his documentary is titled The Money Masters. I think it's about 3 hours, but it's a crash course that will change your thinking on the Fed for good. And let me make this clear, with a couple of notable exceptions like the adulterous bankster puppet Alexander Hamilton, the Founding Fathers would have violently opposed the Federal Reserve banking system. Therefore, having Herman Cain as your keynote speaker at a Tea Party Republican convention is a joke. Just call yourselves what you are, neocon Republicans. And to ice the cake, Ohio Tea Party leaders like Tom Zowastowski of the Portage County Tea Party, they are making it clear they have no desire to defend constitutional liberties under the label of quote-unquote social issues. In an interview with Columbus Dispatch writer Joe Hallett, Mr. Zowastowski was asked about abortion and gay rights. Now, this is a Tea Party leader at this We the People convention. His response was, quote, "Our movement is really about conservatism, fiscal conservatism. We really stay away from social issues," end quote. Yes, and that is why the Tea Party in Ohio and around the country is being packed with sodomites from the log cabin Republicans. The Tea Party is losing its soul. Now, I have to admit, this doesn't surprise me here in 2011, because I attended a so-called Tea Party Express event in Upper Arlington, Ohio, and I found most of the speakers and organizers to be what Chris Wallace would call a bunch of flakes. I approached several of the onstage speakers and performers, and when I handed them a gospel tract, all but one looked at me like I was some sort of freak of nature. And this cutesy little broad who was prancing around the stage singing "God Bless America," she refused to even take the gospel tract. I wondered what God they were singing about, since they never once mentioned Jesus Christ, never once the gospel, never once the Bible. Now, I'm not saying the Tea Party should be an evangelistic event, but if you're going to pretend to represent something, talking about God, you better name your God. I am not going to be a part of something with some bastardized God, small g. You're going to talk about God, you better make it clear it's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who was manifest in the flesh in Jesus Christ. Otherwise, your God is Lucifer. I think the Tea Party should change its name to the Tea Pity. And Mr. Tea Pity Zowastowski, he says again, quote, "We really stay away from social issues," end quote. Yes, Mr. Zowastowski. And that is why true Bible believers will stay away from you. I will not be at the We the People convention this July 4th weekend, 2011.